I'm back on site today, and I've been working on paint. I've got kind of the front painted. I need another coat and some other stuff touched up, but I'm working on the sunny side of the house today. It's pretty cold outside. It's about 55, and I'm caulking what you see behind me here, and just thought I'd make a little video and show you kind of my process, which sounds like, boy, that's a riveting idea for a video, is talking about caulking, but it's one of those things that I think can really make a difference in the outcome of what you're doing, you know, exterior paint, interior stuff especially. And I just want to talk about some of the things I've found, my experience with it, because I think it's helpful, because I didn't know what I know now, and there's still plenty I don't know. And so videos like this, sharing with friends, etc., kind of helps you do what you do. But let me show you what I've got going on. And most of this is pretty obvious, but some of it may surprise you. Oh, hold on. So obviously you need caulking and a caulking gun, and the stuff I'm using today is not great. It's just the DAP paint projects, whatever it is. They've got some quick dry stuff that I like using sometimes when I really need to paint, but if you look at whatever you're buying, it'll give you a dry time and a paint time. Pay attention to that, it's important. And then there's anything, a caulking gun, and that seems pretty obvious too, but these are the best I've found. It's a dripless, so when the old kind, if you squeeze them and you don't release the pressure, even when you release pressure, sometimes it seems like you waste a lot, make a mess and all that. But a good caulking gun is worth its salt. And I've had this one, don't want to jinx it, but I've had it for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years. Your finger, I'd rather use my finger, but if you've ever caulked a whole house, you will go through these two fingers and this pinky and something on your less dominant hand or whatever, your secondary hand, because you'll have freaking blisters on your fingers from doing, especially board and batten, you know, on the nails and everything. And so this little tool is so cheesy. I always clowned on these things before, but for this project, this is an awesome tool. And it's got some stuff you don't need. There's a little scraper sort of thing, putty knife, and then a caulking removal tool. And then it's got this little neoprene rubber, like simulating your finger. It has 3 different profiles on it. And honestly, I just wear one out and flip it over and just use them. I've been through a few of these, but this thing right here is a lifesaver. And so those 3 things, well, actually one more, a good caulking gun, one of these little fake fingers. And then the last thing is, instead of, I've tried everything else, but it seems like, and sometimes you can't use these because they give off like a red dye. Like if you're working on interior paint and it's flat, you don't want to use this, but these mechanics rags and a bucket, this is too big of a bucket. I prefer a little, 1.5 gallon thing or whatever with just water so that you can keep it fresh, is a lifesaver, especially on a hot day, because invariably if you're trying to go back and forth between a faucet, it just doesn't work. But these little shop rags, I like them the best. The ones, the rags you buy at the store, they're like t-shirt material, are god awful. They're so bad. I don't know why anybody uses those, but this has been what I've kind of landed on. So let me show you my process. And I know this sounds ridiculous making a video about caulking, but you can't just do it any old way and expect to get good results. And so let me show you what I've been doing. With this board and batten, there's a few things you're caulking. And some of this I'm going to have to go back and give it another shot because my gaps are kind of wide. I'm not caulking this part between the battens and the sheet and batten. That's more accurate, isn't it? But I'm caulking around all that and then the nails. And I've got kind of a different process for each part of it. But what I end up doing is laying down caulking, running my beads as far as I can. And since it's not very hot, I can do a lot. But you want to batch process so you get, efficiency going on your side. And then I'll take and smooth it out with the finger simulator thing, the multi-tool. And then after that, I'll hit it with the rag. But a few things to note. On these nails, it's so hard because they shrink in invariably. But if you just go over any caulking and you don't give it the rag treatment, you're going to be able to see it. You're going to see every little thing. It just smooths it down. And so a lot of times, like this stuff that's I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to have to hit that again to get it to do what it needs to do. And so just kind of don't try to get it all in one go sometimes. The other thing about caulking is knowing when to stop rubbing with the rag. It's a lot like trying to repair drywall, where if you overwork whatever you're doing, it's gonna mess things up. So I'll just show you that right here. I'm not gonna actually show you me doing this because I don't think it's helpful, and it'd be extremely hard to film way up here, but just know that's the thing. Use the rag. If you don't use the rag, it's gonna look amateur, and sometimes you need to just count on making a second pass on some stuff. And I really wanted to be anal about this, like these nail holes, which I'm not going to be, especially in the back of the house. I can come back and hit them again, or hit them with some putty, and there's different times you want to use putty, but it's really hard to make putty look like the existing material when you have textured stuff going on. Well, I apologize because I've been in such a mad dash to try to get this painted that I haven't really showed you any sort of the process of what I'm doing here. I just wanted to kind of give you an overview. But today it's just, I've got like 3 or 4 hours where it's 55 degrees or higher. And so that's about the lowest you can paint in. There's special paints you can buy that do better than that, I think, but I don't know anything about them and probably couldn't afford them anyway. But anyway, I've got this house sprayed at least one coat everywhere. And, anytime you put the first coat up, you start seeing the places you missed and whatnot. And so I'm kind of looking at it with a critical eye. I decided not to, I got a bunch of dirt there. What's that about? I decided not to caulk the battens, just so it's kind of a realistic thing, because the whole point of board and batten was to expand and contract, and this isn't real board and batten. But I don't know. I might go back and caulk it and touch it up later, just with a heat gun, or build a little, at least on the front, because I think I want it to look a little more one cohesive thing. I don't know, but anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I'll kind of do a walk around, talk about some of it. This porch was extremely hard, and I'll show you why. Because I've got, not easy it is to see, but I had to mask and caulk all that off because the porch beams are stained, and I want them to stay that. I want you overspray, etc. Hopefully I didn't get anything over here. But that took a long time. Windows are looking pretty good. I still got some spots I have to go back where my gaps are a little bit bigger than what I would have liked. Some of this is kind of ugly too, and it'll be covered up with drip edge. It'll be nice once I can pull the masking tape off that. I've got a stupid moth that landed in. They always seem to do that. But I'm happy with it. I like the look of what I got going on. It's kind of a rough sawn situation, but that's what I wanted. I've been masking off even the piers, because I hate that when you see that kind of thing. The way this is going to end up, and I don't think I've talked about this much, but I'm going to have 1x4s going along as sort of a skirting option. They'll come out, parallel with the wall. And inside of it, I think I'm going to do black tar paper to make it look black and to, it's moisture resistant, whatever. And then behind that, from the inside, I'm going to put like hardy board concrete sheets. I've got some siding that's just regular sheets of that. That way it can set directly on the ground, in the ground. I'll probably trench it out a little bit and backfill with some gravel or whatever, just to give it a good thing. And it's a little cheesy, but it's going to look good when I'm done, and it'll be perfectly fine. There are plenty of houses that don't have any sort of, you got to put vents in it and stuff anyway, so it's not like it's a conditioned space. And I forgot to mask off this pier. So mad at myself, but I guess I'll go back later and sand it a little bit. Or I might paint it black or something, I don't know, but I'm leaving this open because I'm not sure. There's 2 spots that are like this. Maybe you've noticed, and you're like, what's that about? There's supposed to be, okay, so this is the back of the house. This would be the walk-in closet. And then the bathroom And there'll be a window here. I just don't have it yet. And so I haven't cut it in because I don't know what to cut in. I've left a big framed opening, you know, and then this the same way. I don't have the 2 windows or one big window, whatever is going there. And then this is the walk-in pantry and then the little dining nook. So you can see those windows there. And then that's kind of the wild area because I'm going to continue to build on. But I really, for a while I was waiting on somebody. I was keeping this open so they could do septic. And now we've decided we're just going to build because he's going to be 2 or 3 months out. And we're going to cut a path for the bulldozer or the backhoe later. So he said it should be fine. So I'm going to try to get this in the dry because the plywood, the subfloor has been rained on. It's at its limit, you know. And so I've got felt paper up there. As you can see, I didn't film any of that, but it's pretty well dried in. I've got 1 or 2 little spots I'm going to attend to. And then I think right now, while this is dry, I'm going to work on putting drip edge up. I might set it out and paint it first in the sun. But that's kind of an update on everything I've been doing. Apologize, I've just been in such a hurry to get stuff done that I haven't really had the time to film every little bit. So there it is. To me, this is the most satisfying part of every paint job. Any paint job is tearing away the masking paper. Can't get it to focus. Nothing better than seeing those clean lines after all that hard, tedious work of prep. Look at those lines, baby. That's great. Pumped about that. I'm real excited. You know, sometimes when you're working with materials like this, it doesn't come together till it comes together, you know. It's nice to see it when you get it to this point where you see crisp, clean lines and everything's as it should be. I'm just sitting here admiring my work. It's feels really satisfying because this was very tedious. Feels really good to see those nice, crisp lines, and I still find little things that bug me, like right there. There's a hole I missed. I used a pin nailer to hold that piece up while I was scribing it when I was cutting it. I feel good about that. It looks awesome. And I'm going to show you the stuff I use. Oh, I missed that. I'll have to touch that up. That's pretty rough. Oh well. Heat gun and the paintbrush will be fine. Let me show you the products I've used. Some of them are they're the non-negotiable. I wouldn't do it without it because I have done this type of stuff without it, and you can't get those kind of results. Keep in mind, and I haven't really talked much about it, but this paint I'm using it's something new to me. I got some overspray there I'll have to get rid of. And right there, I guess, too. Whoops. But the paint I'm using is not, I mean, it's the cheapest stuff you can get. It's $89 from Habitat for Humanity. And I like it. It's pretty good stuff. It's got a really interesting sheen. It's hard to describe. It's not a flat. It's not really a satin. It's kind of just, it's good. I don't know. We'll see how it holds up. I dropped a board on it earlier and left a little scar on it, but it didn't really, you know, that's pretty good because this is brand new. I mean, it's only been dry for just a minute here. So that's a good sign. It seems to lay down pretty well. We'll see how it holds up to some moisture and whatever else. Let me show you the stuff I've used, just give you a little detail about my process in painting. Here's kind of my box of tricks. I showed you just segment earlier on the caulking stuff, but again, man, a dripless caulking gun. This little finger spreader thing is a lifesaver. I like this spackling. I haven't used a whole lot of it outdoors here because it's not really, I mean, it's made for exterior, but it, you know, I just barely use it. I'll use it more on the door jamb, and I'll show you details on that in a minute. But a good masking gun and paper go a long way. But this tape right here, this is frog tape. It's not the green kind. I like the green kind, but for exterior stuff, I've not found a better situation. This stuff sticks to like dirty brick even. And if you burnish it, like if you press on it and roll on it, whatever, it really will stand the test time. It holds up to, if you have rain overnight, which I did, it is fine. And actually I've heard when you wet whatever you're doing, like wet the tape after, it actually activates a better edge. This stuff gives a wonderful line. Now the drawback, and let me show you, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but the drawback is that sometimes it will rip the finish off of whatever you put on it if it's a new finish. And so like this has been stained, you know, it's been a while, but it didn't seem to do much on the beams because I probably prepared those a little better. But I peeled off some of the stain. I'm gonna have to touch up there. So you gotta be careful with that. But it is worth the money to buy that frog tape, and you can get it in bulk. I come across it all the time on Facebook Marketplace too. Let me show you one more thing. Here's the paint I was talking about, and they just went up. This stuff used to be $79.99, and there's still some places that sell it for cheaper than that. But Green Sheen, there's another one called Amazon, like Amazon, you know, the giant retailer. And I have to say, it's a good white. Sometimes you get white paint and it's just too stark. But this is, I think it's a good soft white, you know what I mean? It leans into gray just a touch. But I'm happy with it so far. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe I'll do a review on it. There's one last thing I wanted to show you before I conclude this video, but I built a door frame for this door. Let me show you the door again. But it's upside down, and it's a 12 light farmhouse style door. It's a pine door. I think I'm gonna stain it. I don't know, we'll see. It's a 3.0 door, and so I didn't have a frame for it, so just built one. What I did is take 2x6s and ripped them down, so they're, I don't know, over an inch, but not much. And then I like it because it's one piece. You know, you can do this stuff with two pieces, but it seems nicer when it's one piece. And so what you do is, after you plane it down, you know, the dimension is about right. I took it and ran it through the table saw upright a little over this so that I have a slot to stick the weather stripping in. And then I did this sort of rabbit cut going the other way on the table saw, so you can see, kinda, it's hard to see, but there's a little bit of a, see if it'll focus. Nope. Yeah, you can see it there. Anyway, just did that and bought the threshold. That part's kind of hard because you've got to cut an angle on it. I did pretty good on it though. I was proud of that. This is only the second one of these I've ever made, and it turned out all right. It's the same 2x6s that I've got that are finger jointed I use for some of the wall studs, but it turned out pretty good. I've yet to mortise the hinges or any of that stuff, but I will at a later date once I get it ready to hang and stain and all the things. But anyway, I think I'm gonna cut the video off there. So thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.